The OPSTATUS function will be the go-to Ops MVS tool anytime your automated logic needs to manipulate an active address space ID on the system. From STCs to TSO users, this function is used to determine if an ACID is actively running or to identify how many ACIDs are currently active. A detailed data record can optionally be requested for the specified ACID. The data record will contain information such as the job name, the ACID number, step name, swap status, elapsed time, and much more. Additional ACID information such as WLM related data as well as outstanding WTOR information can also be requested. This function is available to both OPSMVS rules and OPSREX programs and can be optionally routed to a remote OPSMVS system if it is invoked within an OPSREX program and if your installation has the MSF component installed. The MSF component, of course, is an optional interface that provides cross-system OPSMVS communication. A user-defined simple variable name or var name is needed to call or invoke the function. The name of this variable should reflect the type of data in which the function is obtaining. For example, if the OPSTATUS function is being used to obtain all active ACIDs, a variable name of all_ACIDs or active_ACIDs would logically identify this returned data. The function argument defines the entity type that is to be queried. A for address spaces, J for batch jobs, T for TSO users, I for IMS regions, and R for system WTORs. The subfunction argument defines the specific data that is to be obtained for the specified function. A subfunction of an A just tells the OPSTATUS to return as 0 if the ACID is not active, or the number of ACIDs that are active that match the defined entity. A detailed ACID information record that includes job name, job ID, step name, ACID, the status, etc., is returned to the EDQ of the invoking rule or program if an I subfunction is defined. Detailed WTOR information can be obtained when the L, S, or X subfunctions are specified. Multiple WTOR subfunctions exist to instruct the OPSTATUS to only obtain local or sysplex WTORs and to collect a time value indicating how long the WTOR has been outstanding. The W subfunction instructs the OPSTATUS to obtain WLM-related detail from the matched entities. The entity argument of the function, of course, defines the name or name mask of the specified function that is to be queried. An entity of an asterisk value can be specified to obtain all defined function types. Optionally, the MSF name can be coded if the ACID to be queried is on a remote system. As you can see, many different flavors of the function exist and are available for you to fulfill all your automation requirements. Complete coding details of the OPSTATUS function can be found in the OPSMVS documentation that will be noted at the end of this video. Now let's take a look at a few coding examples taken from some OPSMVS automated applications. This particular code is utilizing the OPSTATUS function to determine if a job or address space is active. Note the calling variable name of active, which will contain the return data from the OPSTATUS function. Within the OPSTATUS function, you can see 3 arguments are being passed or requested from the function. The first argument, or the function, is an A value, specifying that an address space is to be queried. The second argument, or the subfunction, is requesting the type of information that is to be obtained about the address space. In this case, the A subfunction argument indicates that the OPSTATUS function should only obtain the count or number of the active address spaces that match the entity. The entity, which is the last argument, is the name of the address space that is to be queried. Based on the obtained OPSTATUS data, the active variable would be set to 0 if the specified CICA ASPL ACID is not active, or set to 1 or more, depending on the number of active ACIDs found for this particular job name. The logic would process the active variable accordingly and either start the address space or exit the logic. This will be the general OPSTATUS function code needed within your automation when you need to do some logic based on the existence of any ACID being active or not on the system. With this OPSTATUS function call, a detailed execution record of all active batch jobs is to be obtained. The first argument of a J value specifies that batch jobs are to be queried. The second argument, or the subfunction of an I value, is requesting that a detailed ACID record be obtained for each job found. The last argument, or the entity, is a wildcard of an asterisk, which indicates that all jobs are to be obtained. The function would return the number of active ACIDs found, and then create a detailed ACID record in the external data queue of the executing rule or program. The EDQ, of course, is used as a notepad within a rule or program, where functions and commands can write data to. The logic would then loop through all returned records, pulling and processing each record one by one. From the detailed ACID record that is pulled, the job name, word 1 of the record, ACID, word 4 of the record, and job ID, word 12 of the record, is extracted. The complete contents of this detailed ACID record can of course be found in the OPSTATUS documentation. After obtaining the job ID, the job is canceled within this logic, and then an audit message of the obtained job name, ACID, and job ID records is being sent to the ops log. Obtaining a WTOR to communicate to an ACID from at a time other than the actual issuance of the WTOR is a common automation feat. Utilizing the R subfunction of the OPSTATUS function can be coded to accomplish this type of automation. In this example, the local system's WTOR, requested by the L subfunction of the OPSTATUS, is being requested from the prod IMS job name. The WTOR record is returned to the EDQ and is pulled and manipulated to extract the actual WTOR ID. The reply ID is the second word of the pulled record. This ID is then used to communicate to the ACID via the ZOS reply command issued from within the address opper host environment. The important guideline to remember when replying to WTORs is that if you need to reply to a WTOR at the time that it is issued, you would do that directly in an OPSMVS message rule that replies to the message.replyID environmental variable, and do not utilize the OPSTATUS in this case. Again, the OPSTATUS function with the WTOR information would be used when you want to reply to a WTOR after it has been issued in some other event. Familiarize yourself with the various OPSTATUS function calls by executing a test OpsRex program in your TSO foreground. To do this, create a member in your OPSMVS user Rex library, similar to this sample shown, that invokes any valid OPSTATUS function statement. Utilize the Rex say instruction to simply dump out the returned output. Quickly execute this code as an OpsRex program by entering and typing the exclamation OI on the command line to invoke the OpsRex edit macro. Various sample OPSMVS AOF rules and OpsRex programs can be viewed for obtaining more OPSTATUS function coding examples, as well as providing you with a syntax template that you can copy as you create your OPSMVS automation, and if the logic warrants, utilizing this function. Locate your installation's CCLX rules and CCLX SAMP OPSMVS datasets to access these members as illustrated. Thank you for viewing this video. For more detailed information about this product, click the information bubble in the top right corner to load the product page. From there, you can go to product documentation, visit the CA communities, see the learning path, and much more.